What's up? Today I come to you with some disturbing news, and I already shared this image a while back. As you can see, Team Fortress 2 officially, as of this month, as of April of 2025, this game has been shit longer than it's been good. To put it briefly and simply. If you're new to this channel, you might not notice, spoiler alert, I am actually not the biggest fan of Meet Your Match. Like, you could say that. This is not exactly my favorite update as far as TF2 is concerned. And, I've referred to Meet Your Match as the update that killed TF2. And that's not completely true. It's almost correct, but, I would say more accurately, I would refer to Meet Your Match as the update that killed the old TF2. Definitely. Like, absolutely. That's what it did. So I think this is pretty interesting. You can take Meet Your Match and you can basically use it as a dividing line to separate the old TF2 and the new TF2. You basically have a tale of two eras over here, right? And it's all separated by the date of July 6, 2016. So by that token, that's what I want to do today. I want to take a look at the last 8.5 years of Team Fortress 2's history, counting from Meet Your Match. And I just want to ask a very simple question. What has this era of TF2 actually brought to the game? What new additions has it given us? How has it benefited the player of TF2? Right? And, to start, I would actually like to do a little comparison where we directly compare both of these eras, the old TF2 pre-Meet Your Match era and the post-Meet Your Match era, on a very simple metric, which I think is very, very telling. So what I've done here is I've taken every single weapon that was added into this game, not counting stock or reskins, and I've sorted them out by the addition, by which year they were added into the game, right? And I think this is a picture that's worth 1,000 words. It's a very effective way to just visually demonstrate the decline of TF2. Just imagine, though, being a TF2 player in 2011. You just wake up one day, you open up the game, and there's a dozen new weapons that I can play around with in this game that have been added in. Like, yeah, imagine that. All we can do at this point is imagine, because those days are a long fucking gone. It was a different time, okay? Imagine this scenario, right? Imagine you're a boomer unk and you're playing TF2 in 2009 and for one reason or another you uninstall. And then imagine that you come back to the game 5 years later in 2014. And just imagine the amount of new shit that you would have to fucking learn and you would have to you would get to play around with. And then imagine another scenario. Imagine you're a TF2 player in 2017. You uninstall the game in 2017. You come back 5 years later, and there's fucking nothing new. We haven't seen a balance patch in Team Fortress 2 that actually brings substantial changes to the balancing to as far as weapons are concerned in this game since Blue Moon, right? And I'll let you guess. Hey, when do you think Blue Moon happened? How many years ago? Yeah, that was 2018. That was fucking 7 years ago since the last time we actually got changes to the weapon balancing in this game. So, just letting you know. When it comes to new weapons being added into the game, as I've already showed, it's only 5, and they were all added in 2017 with Jungle Inferno. 5 is all we got. And a very important part, and this shit is hilarious, of course, the 5 weapons that we did get after Beat Your Match. When Jungle Inferno dropped, 4 of those weapons that have been given to the Pyro, because that was supposed to be the Pyro update, are all notorious for being fucking terrible. The jetpack sucks, the hot head's a joke, and the gas passer is arguably the single worst weapon in the entire game. And by far my favorite example, the Dragon's Fury. See, this is absolutely the most hilarious one, because when Jungle Inferno dropped on release, the Dragon's Fury was actually fucking awesome. That was an accident. Valve made a fucking mistake by making it awesome, and then they fixed that mistake in Blue Moon by nerfing it to shit and making it basically a fucking joke. The only reason I even know that the Dragon's Fury used to be a fucking awesome weapon is because we reverted this thing on Castaway. I tried it out, and holy fucking shit, is this thing incredible. It really is fucking funny, though. You know, like, Valve accidentally made a weapon that's actually fun, good, and useful after Meet Your Match. They dropped it in October of 2017, and less than half a year later, when Blue Moon drops in the March of 2018, they fixed that mistake. They fixed the mistake of actually giving us a good weapon by fucking ruining it and turning it into a fucking joke with their last balance patch that they ever do before they fuck off and abandon the game. It really, I don't know. It's fucking incredible. So really, out of the 5 weapons that they added, the only one that's actually worth shit, ironically, despite Jungle Inferno being the fucking Pyro update, the only weapon that's actually useful is the fucking banana. And while it is a decent weapon, it's also boring as shit. Like, you have to remember that this is basically just the fucking mini sandwich that refills faster. This is just a weapon that was added in like 2008 that they just re-added in 2017, and they very slightly modified its stats. And that's the last time we're ever getting a good weapon. So enjoy your banana. You also have to remember the fact that the last few balance patches that Valve shit out before abandoning this game, you know, the last few changes that they've done in Meet Your Match, Jungle Inferno, and Blue Moon have actually destroyed and ruined weapons by nerfing them to the point where you could say, basically, for all intents and purposes, more weapons have been de facto removed from the game, you know, removed from practical viability. For all intents and purposes, they're not usable. They're not useful. Who gives a fuck? More weapons have been removed or destroyed by these nerfs than we have actually seen added into the game. Okay, so we have a grand total of 5 new weapons that have been added into this game since the July of 2016. Since Beat Your Match, 5. That's all we got. Hey, you know, 5 new weapons in 9 years. Hey, look, it could be worse. It could be nothing. You know, Valve's too busy. They're more busy with more pressing issues. They can't be working on this game. You know, so it's understandable. But I just want to ask you a question. If we only got 5 new weapons since Meet Your Match, how many hats do you think have been added into this game since Beat Your Match? Just guess. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, fucking shit. I don't have enough fingers on my hands to count this shit. Guess the number. Guess the number of hats that have been added into this game since Meet Your Match. Just guess. So pause the video right now, go into the comments, and type in, how many hats do you think have been added into this game since the July 6th of 2016? It's a little bit more than 5, okay? You ready for this shit? Okay. 542. 540 fucking 2 hats have been added into this game since Meet Your Match. Granted, I may have fucked up the exact number. I think it's 542, but maybe I missed a few. I'm not sure. I used the fucking TF2 wiki for this shit. But absolutely, certainly, more than 500 hats, cosmetics, whatever the fuck you want to call them, have been added into this game since Beat Your Match. I'm not counting any fucking competitive medals or community medals, shit like that. I'm talking about actual cosmetics that have been added into crates. More than 500. I gotta say, it makes you think, you can count the amount of new weapons that have been added into this game since Beat Your Match with the fingers you got on one hand. That I got 5 fingers, I could count 5 new weapons that have all been added in fucking 2017 in Jungle Inferno. But when it comes to hats, you're going to have 100 times more. You're going to have well over 500. For every new weapon that has been added into this game since Meet Your Match, you can count yourself at least 100 hats. So, what do you even say about this shit? I mean, it says a lot about society, right? It tells you where the priorities lie for Valve as far as TF2 is concerned. And the best part about this shit is that people actually think that new hats and hats being added into the fucking game, like, that is content. That is what matters. That is what proves that TF2 is not abandoned. Like, I've had fucking retards try and tell me when I'm criticizing the state of TF2 and I'm saying that this game has gone to shit and it's a shadow of its former self. I've had dumbasses come up and say that not only should I not be complaining about the state of TF2, I should be thanking. I should be fucking bowing and scraping and kissing Valve's ass because they give me the luxury of adding in new fucking scam cosmetics that they're gonna fucking profit millions from into the game, while everything gameplay related when it comes to Team Fortress 2 is complete fucking garbage, right? And the game has just gone to shit. I should be thanking Valve for the privilege of having the ability to waste my money on useless cosmetic slop, because this is proof that the game is still alive. This is proof that Valve cares. This is proof that Team Fortress 2 is thriving. Everything is okay. Consume the cosmetic slop and just enjoy it, you know? This shit will never make any fucking sense to me. This is like the best example that I could find of just how fucking out of touch I am with the modern TF2 so-called alleged quote unquote community, you know? The reason I say this game has massively declined is because every single gameplay element, whether you're looking at weapon balancing or whether you're looking at just getting into a fucking server, like that has gone to shit and that has just completely fucking gone down the drain. But, I forget. There's plenty of people out there, a large cohort of individuals that treat Team Fortress 2 as a fucking dress-up simulator. So, the fact that the gameplay is going to shit doesn't matter. The fact that the actual game is abandoned doesn't matter. Because, listen, I could put a banana on my head, I could put the furry hat on my head, and, that's the only thing that matters. We're going to get fucking 40 new hats in the summer, on Halloween, and on Christmas. So, really, when you think about it, the game is thriving, you know? Some people might think that my videos are a little too harsh when it comes to criticizing Valve and the state of TF2 as it's been for the last almost a decade. Some people may think, I go a little bit too far. And the truth is, I haven't been going far enough, if anything. Specifically when we're talking about the bot crisis, I've actually been going too easy on Valve. I am, of course, a proponent of the theory that meet your match and casual matchmaking being added into the game specifically was the main cause for the bot crisis. Like that's what made it happen. It wasn't possible before, but after casual matchmaking got forced into the game, bots started appearing. Now, of course, I still completely stand by that theory. That is absolutely correct. But one detail, one very important point that I have been making in my videos about this specific issue was actually not accurate, and I wasn't going far enough. That was the problem. I've been saying, stupidly, because I actually forgot when it all began, I've been saying that the bot crisis started in 2017, somewhere in the summer. But that's actually not true because, someone actually dropped some fucking knowledge on my ass and educated me and schooled me and reminded me I fucking memory hold this entire fucking thing. The bot crisis started literally less than 2 weeks after Meet Your Match in the July of 2016. The earliest video evidence that you can find of the bot crisis happening is in a casual game recorded in fucking July 16 of 2016. 10 fucking days after Meet Your Match dropped, and you already had bots flooding Valve servers in casual matchmaking and making them unplayable. 10 days is how fucking long it took for the system to be broken. And for all I know at this point, bots could have been flooding the servers in casual on fucking day one of Meet Your Match on July 6th. But, this is the earliest example that we actually know of that is actually recorded. So let's just say that the bot crisis, for all intents and purposes, started in July 16 of 2016. And of course, the one good thing that Valve has done in the past 8.5 years, the one thing that I can happily say, and the one thing that I did, in fact, lawed Valve over was the fact that the bot crisis has been officially ended. For the most part, there have been minor resurgences, but most of the bots have been neutralized. As far as I can tell, victory over Bots Day in Team Fortress 2 should be celebrated on June 27th, because that is the date when the big ass ban wave finally came in and, finally fucking Valve started cleaning shit up on June 27, 2024. Okay, so if we say that the bot crisis begins on July 16 of 2016 and that it ends on June 27, 2024, that is a grand total of 2,899 days of bots. So out of the 3,193 days that make up this half of Team Fortress 2 history, the post Meet Your Match era, out of those 3,200 days, roughly, less than 300 have been without bots. 294 to be specific have been without bots when we're talking about half of this game's entire fucking history from 2016. So out of 8.5 fucking years after Beat Your Match, more than 7.5 of those years have been during the bot crisis, where you couldn't fucking find a Valve server, you couldn't play casual without constantly being overrun and interrupted by bots flooding the servers. Okay, so now let's compare these statistics to the pre-Beat Your Match era, to the old days, the first half of Team Fortress 2's history. How many days did we have to spend with bots flooding servers and making them unplayable in the first half of Team Fortress 2 history? Okay, so to give you a ballpark figure, in rough numbers, 0. Fucking nothing. Nada. Not one day in the first half of TF2 was spent having to deal with the bot crisis. Not one. Before Beat Your Match, this was not an issue that even existed for a second. And of course, an issue that is related to the bots is, funnily enough, even though the bots are gone, supposedly, is the free-to-play communication restriction that was dropped on TF2 somewhere in 2020. So we've had to deal with that shit for 5 years. Free-to-plays have not been able to fucking call for medic or type or talk or, communicate in a fucking multiplayer shooter that is supposedly free-to-play because they're free-to-play. Right? So we have had this transition to this fucking retarded ass pseudo free to play model where technically the game is free to play, but basic features of the game are locked away behind a paywall. And, just makes me think. And even though this was supposedly to deal with, all the bots that have been flooding the game since Beat Your Match, because casual matchmaking's a broken piece of shit, supposedly it was the bots that made this happen. The bots are gone again, supposedly, and for some reason these restrictions are not lifted. Free-to-plays are still fucked up. And I don't know. Make your own conclusions. It makes me think. That's all I gotta say, but that is another result of the post-Beat Your Match era. That is a direct result, a direct consequence of Beat Your Match, which caused the bot crisis and also caused the free-to-plays to lose this basic ability of speaking, So, TF2 goes free to play in 2011. Then Meet Your Match comes out, starts the bot crisis. We have to deal with bots for 8 years straight, and also free to plays for the past 5 years straight have not been able to fucking communicate. That is another brilliant hallmark of the new school of Team Fortress 2. What a brilliant era we live in. Then, of course, there's casual matchmaking, which is very important. It is probably the single most important issue. It is the culprit behind everything that has happened in the post-Meet Your Match era. And, all I'm going to say about it is that it fucking sucks. I am of the opinion that casual matchmaking needs to be destroyed. And, if you want any details on why, feel free to check out the fucking dozen videos I have on this channel talking about that specific topic, because I don't want to repeat myself that much. All I have to say is I played casual matchmaking for way too fucking long. The fact that I put up with this piece of shit system for as long as I did is honestly like, I am ashamed. I am honestly ashamed that I should take some responsibility. I really shouldn't have. I really shouldn't have fucking even pretended that this is an acceptable way to play the game. Because holy fucking shit, does it ruin everything. So this is my pledge. I am never, fucking ever, going to play casual matchmaking again. So the rank you see here for GABA, level 132, tier 7, I am not going to increase this rank unless Eric Smith personally hacks into my fucking Team Fortress 2 account and it forces my account to play casual. I'm not going back. Ever. Not for a second, not for one match. Never again am I going to fucking use that piece of shit system. Unless it receives some massive fucking improvements. Never. I just hope that one day I'm going to boot up TF2, I'm going to go into the main menu, and I am not going to be greeted by that fucking disgusting, gaudy piece of shit fucking badge. I really hope that that day comes and I will not have to look at it because it is a badge of shame. It is a constant reminder of this game being A, completely fucking ruined, and B, me participating in this fucking farce, this circus, this fucking tragicomic joke that is casual matchmaking, to the point where I've played to a fucking extent where I'm almost at the maximum fucking rank possible. You know, I really hope that I'm not going to have to see this anymore one day. But I can promise you this shit. I am never hitting tier 8 on this fucking thing. This rank is not going to move up unless, again, Eric Smith hacks my account. This is where it stays, no more. And I can already say, like, I can confidently tell you this because I haven't played casual once this year. I have not played or used casual matchmaking in 2025 a single fucking time. That's not because I haven't been playing TF2. Hell nah. I've been playing too much, if anything. I've been playing a shitload of TF2, but it's just that I've been using community servers exclusively. More specifically, castaway.tf, which is just the best fucking TF2 server ever made. And I have not looked back for a second. Let me tell you, if casual matchmaking was the only way that I could actually play TF2, I would uninstall today. I would be done. You honestly can't even call it TF2. Whatever casual is, I don't know what the fuck it is. It's some sort of abomination, but it's not even the real game. Never again. So just to briefly recap the legacy of the post-Meet Your Match era. What the past 8.5 years have brought TF2. We got casual matchmaking, 2,900 days of bots, 5 new weapons, and also about a dozen nerfs in Meet Your Match, Jungle Inferno, and Blue Moon to weapons that didn't even need them, so we basically lost twice the amount of weapons that we gained, and communication restrictions for free-to-play accounts since 2020. But hey, guys, it's okay, because we got 542 new hats, and Versus Saxton Hale is now an official game mode that you can queue for. So honestly, really, I mean, it's pretty even-handed when you think about it. You got some good, you got some bad, really. I just want to remind you, the one good thing that Valve has actually done in the past 8.5 years for Team Fortress 2 was fixing the bots. Fixing a problem that didn't even exist until they fucking brought it into being with Meet Your Match. Right? The only good part of the post-Meet Your Match era is a problem being solved after 8 years that was directly caused by Meet Your Match. So really, when you look back at the past fucking era of TF2, the past half of this game's history, like, all I have to say, if Meet Your Match didn't happen, if Valve literally never touched the game once after 2015, we would have had a better 8.5 years for TF2 than what we got. Listen, all I gotta say is if you think that the past 8.5 years of Team Fortress 2 has not been a tumultuous and disastrous fucking decline, and if you actually think that The last half of TF2's history is even close, is comparable, or God forbid, is somehow an upgrade over the first half of this game. You are wearing rose-tinted glasses. Like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you, but you need rose-tinted glasses to basically see Valve taking a fucking diarrhea turd on a plate in front of you and eat it up like a chocolate souffle and pretend that it's actually really fucking good. The past fucking 8.5 years has been a fucking unmitigated, unprecedented fucking disaster for Team Fortress 2. Just want to set the record straight. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that. Oh, wait, shit, I forgot. Like, I forgot to mention the most important part of the Meet Your Match era, the defining thing, the thing that defined that update, and that was supposed to, be the new fucking generation for TF2. I forgot competitive. Competitive matchmaking is in the game. An entire generation of TF2 players installed the game because of competitive matchmaking, because they want to play competitive TF2 so bad. Like that was the entire purpose. How the fuck did I forget to mention that? Well, that's a good question. How did I forget that? Man, I must be getting too old for this shit. I didn't take my medicine. How could I forget? I keep forgetting things right now. Such massive things like competitive TF2. I forgot somehow. Well, one thing that I'm not going to forget ever, no matter how demented I am, is I'm never going to forget to tell you that you should join castaway.tf. Best TF2 server ever made. And just so all of the problems that I've talked about in this video, the defining fucking hallmarks of the post Meet Your Match era, do not apply to this community server. We don't have to deal with that bullshit ass casual matchmaking or its stupid ass rule set, because we got the quick play rule set on Castaway, baby. We don't have to deal with the fact that Valve ruined a bunch of weapons before they abandoned the game, because we could just revert those weapons. We could revert those dog shit ass nerfs, and we could bring those weapons that were destroyed back. And that's what we did. I already showed you, the Dragon's Fury before. That's just one of many. When it comes to bots, that shit's never been a problem, never gonna be a problem, because we could just take those motherfuckers out. And of course, that bullshit ass communication restriction for free to play accounts does not apply to Castaway. We are a proud free to play safe space. And, if you didn't spend money on this game, you could go on the server and you could spam me and call for medic and talk to your heart's content. Because that's the way Robin Walker, peace be upon him, drew it up. And that's the way we're going to do it on Castaway. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. I will see you on Castaway. Good night.